Can we catch the Chrysler 200? What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Hot Take. Today, we are in a 2009 Honda Civic Si, 4-door with a 6-speed manual. Well, I guess they were all manual. This is the owner with us, Zayden. He's going to tell us a little bit about this car. I'm very excited today.
So we got a Stage 1 sport clutch. We got an AFE air filter. We got a hole in the muffler. You could call that a mod.
That's louder, right?
It's louder. The catalytic converter's also got a hole in it, go figure. Paint wear, typical Honda things. Interior's decent.
So mostly stock. This will be, I think, a good taste for the HNSI. This is a car I've wanted to drive for a really long time. What I wanted when I had my EP3 Civic Si was the EP3 body. I like the egg. But I wanted this engine. This is the engine that runs out to 8,500 RPM. Arguably, from a lot of people, the last of the great Honda engines. This is the K20 Z3. Yes. So very excited today. But with that, let's go ahead and hop on the road and see how she drives. Oh, clutch is scrappy. Got to get used to that.
Believe me, it took me until probably a week ago before I got proficient enough at it to be comfortable doing anything more advanced.
Yeah, okay, cell reset. What do we got? Oil life. 210,860 miles. Okay.
I bought it at just over 196, and I will tell you that was the most stressful 40-minute drive home of my life.
When you bought it, did it have things wrong with it, or was it just learning manual?
Learning manual. I had 0 seat time. Pulling out of the dude's neighborhood, I almost backed into a car. It was like less than a foot away from their bumper. I'm like, oh God. I had my brother following me with his hazards on until we got on the highway.
Yeah.
But
ooh, brakes are good.
oh yeah.
Wow, shifter's direct, and that clutch, it's a little bit to get used to, but it feels nice. Okay.
Oh, yeah, shifter's very direct now, especially because this is not the original shift knob.
Not the original?
Yeah, the OEM one was kind of fading.
Yeah,
it had
sure.
like that red stitching and leather on the sides. At the top was metal.
Some initial impressions. Everything is very direct, as in classic Honda fashion. Steering is direct, the shifter is direct. The Stage 1 clutch, there's not a lot of travel, and it bites really quickly. You don't have a lot in the bite point. But since it bites so soon, you know as soon as you let your foot off the floor, you know it's going to grab. So it's very easy, very predictable. Was the stock clutch lighter, I'm assuming?
Yeah, it was noticeably lighter.
Haha, VTEC. The steering, it's hard to tell with the steering wheel cover on it, but I would say it has probably about average level of feedback for a mid-2000s car. Some, but not like tons. They kind of started to lose it as they got in the later years. But, you know, what are you going to do?
Exactly. Now, you are right, because when I had the steering wheel cover off, it did feel like it was lacking a little bit, but compared to every other car I've driven, this is by far the most direct.
Yeah, you can hear a little bit up there when the VTEC kickover happens. You hear a kickover. It's a really nice sound. Very OEM plus. Although I imagine an intake would get you a little more sound. I'm a huge fan of Honda induction noise. Any induction noise, but especially Hondas. Try second. Oh man, the shifts are great.
Oh yeah, you got all sorts of grip.
Tons of grip. Down a little bit. Oh man.
And surprisingly, it has this much grip despite
alignment.
Not having the best tires and the alignment. It was actually okay. It was only like maybe just slightly off when I got it, but for some reason when I got the clutch job done, it went a little further to the left. I don't know how that happened.
Might have to pull the subframe out or something. Who knows?
It could be anything.
Wow, it feels really good. It's very communicative. There's not a ton of steering feedback, but I could tell where the suspension is at and what it's telling me to do, what its limitation was. Like back there, I kind of felt a little bit of understeer starting to kind of creep in. I probably could have pushed harder. It'll be my first time in this car. We're not. There we go.
One day I want to track this, but I just need to get. There's another fun one. Let's take a left here. Yeah, that's why I have that oil, that little sound you heard.
On the seatbelt?
That little sound you heard as we were making the corner.
Yeah.
It burns enough oil to where I have to have that back there.
Ah, okay.
Originally had a Canon filter on, and let's just say that was the worst hour and a half of my life. I could not get it off at all.
Oh no, why?
It was too short, and because of how the oil filter's placed, you have to reach like over the front axle to get to it, which isn't terrible by itself, but there's a little metal piece next to the filter, so you can't get it with your hand.
Man, this thing communicates so well with the driver.
Now we are getting into
It's a very reasonable highway RPM.
oh yeah.
I mean, $4,000 at like 85. That's pretty normal. Your Hondas do tend to run higher anyway, but that's like a pretty good RPM, I'd say.
Oh yeah, especially when the exhaust gets fixed, it'll be livable.
Yeah, I actually noticed your exhaust gets a little quieter when it's you're higher in the rev range.
Yeah, well, that intake basically overrides everything.
It does. I like it. It's nice. You can hear the VTEC kick over. I've noticed a lot of stock Hondas. You can't really hear it as much. The intake really kind of brings it out. This thing loves the elevation changes.
Oh yeah.
It's soft, but not too soft. It's very, very compliant while still being stiff enough to be sporty.
Yeah, I think the exact number is 40% over the base model, I'm pretty sure.
Like stiffness, like increase? Oh, okay, so 40%, yeah, that sounds about right. Enough to help you handle a little bit better, but not enough to break your back.
Exactly.
Side note, I'm really liking the pedals. With the aluminum, but with the rubber inserts, my feet grab onto them really nicely. They don't slide off super easily.
I love it in the rain. Greatly so.
Oh, I can imagine. Yeah, that's a really, really good pedals.
Now here comes the fun part.
All right. I see yellow signs. I like. It's at
A little
15.
further up. It's going to be a very sharp elevation drop.
Oh yeah. The sign was warning me.
I usually just coast in third gear until I get to the hairpin.
Out here.
One more turn and then you'll
understeer. I'm speeding up in second gear. I literally can't make it slow down anymore.
It's partially the tires, so I'll give it to you.
Yeah. Now I felt that understeer too before it actually gave it to me. I knew it was gonna happen. I was ready for it. Now we got uphill, so now I can control my throttle a little easier. So it's at 15. We're going about 25. Ooh, all right. We're gonna.
Yeah, this is a real sharp one.
Wow. Oh, that's when the exhaust starts to really get really buzzy on you.
Yeah.
So even if we, well, I guess there's not really a point in doing third. Then it'll just drop us really low, and we'll have to go back to second. Yeah.
All the times to be going 26. This is not one of the times I wish I was.
Yeah, exactly. Wow, that's awesome. Those are nice little hairpins. Can we catch the Chrysler 200? We did catch him.
No, unfortunately, fully stocked, so we don't get that luxury.
No, we weren't gonna beat him, not in this car. But you know, we caught up to him.
Oh yeah.
It's a good. I mean, I would describe this as Honda power. I mean,
it pretty much gets the same pickup as you would in like an old school like V6, like similar to your car. You know, sub 200, decent enough torque.
now I'm getting used to the rhythm of this clutch.
Yeah, once you get used to it, it's so much more fun.
Comes up and quickly.
Here you go. You're getting a little better now.
Bit of a brake. Ooh, we got plenty of brake there.
Oh yeah. Those brand new rear brakes are doing wonders, I'll tell you. Now, I think in this car it's actually a rear bias on the brakes, because when I had the old brakes square out on me and one of the pads actually came completely off from what I heard and was just rattling around, I lost almost all of my braking power.
Oh no. Well, maybe you're losing pressure.
Probably. Don't like is hardly being able to see anything.
The clutch doesn't give you a ton of feedback. You kind of just know where the bite point is. Like, you figure it out. The gas pedal too. I think driver's feedback wise, that's the only really like super letdown. The gas pedal's kind of light.
I will tell you, stock clutch was kind of on the mushy side.
Was it? Okay, so even this is
a little bit better.
okay.
Not a lot, just a little bit.
We've now finished our test drive of the 8th gen Civic Si, and overall, it was a really good experience. This is kind of in that perfect zone of like backroad fun. It's not fast, and you're not going to win any races, but you can wring out the car, really use all the power, and it has enough feedback there to entertain the driver. These are a little expensive relative to what they are. I mean, even this one, I don't know if we said on video, we said this was like $4 grand?
Yeah, $4 grand.
Get $4 grand for a 200,000 mile car. I mean, that's a lot of money, but even still, I think it's worth it because these are stout. They last forever. I mean, outside the trim pieces and all the cosmetic things that fall apart, you have to keep up on, but the motors are stout. Thank you for coming onto the channel.
Thank you for coming out here.
Yeah, 100% super happy. We came down to Ohio for this. It was a long drive. With that said, let's go ahead and give the 8th gen Civic Si a score.
The scores are as shown. It scores about where you would expect, at the center of the list. It is faster and more practical than its predecessor, the EP3, and is about on par with some other mid-2000s cars. Should you buy it? The 8th gen Civic Si was a bridge car, the introduction of all of the modern technology we see in Hondas today, but it still retains a lot of the character of the older Civic models, including the high red line Hondas are known for. Value is the only reason this car didn't score higher. A lot of them have lots of miles and still command a premium, but that is a testament to this car's driving experience and overall package. The 8th gen Civic Si was Honda's last hurrah with the high revving NA formula that made them famous. After this car, we got more tech, the cars got more modern, and they lost that edge in favor of a more well-rounded car. On the flip side, these are still young enough to daily drive and have fun with, unlike its B-series predecessors of the 1990s. This car is your last chance to experience what a classic Honda drives like without breaking your wallet.